My name is Kailey Larson, or Kailey Delane is my professional name. I use she and they pronouns. I am coming to y'all from Lenape land, uh, or so-called South Philly. My home, however, is in Edo land in Durham, North Carolina, Bull City. Um, and I am so thrilled to be here. For new people, please feel free to say hi in the chat and let us know where you're coming from. And welcome to Medicine Buddha. I am stepping in for Lama Rod, although he is very much still with us in spirit. I believe he will be back next week. Um, yeah, God, thank you for the affirmation. And um, yeah. What else do new people need to know? This is Medicine Buddha. You do not have to know uh, the history, although you might want to know that it is derived from Tibetan and Tantric practices and adapted by Lama Rod. And in a minute, I will tell you kind of the flow that we're going to be taking tonight. Thank you, Eric and Karen, for being my support this evening, and all of y'all for letting me be in this position. I started attending this group in January, and so this past 5 months have been joyous and expansive, and I've just really felt called to step into a position where I can give a little bit more, give some of myself. I was telling Eric though before I even got on here that I already feel like I'm receiving so much more than I could have possibly give. So thank you. I'm feeling um, overwhelmed, frankly, with gratitude. I am a sexuality educator. That is my sphere of where I'm coming from, my perspective. I center pleasure and sensuality and eroticism in everything that I do. And what that means to me is embodying hmm, embodying play, embodying play as liberation, embodying the access that you have to your senses, reconnecting with earth as we have been so disconnected from it. My teachers in this realm are Adrienne Marie Brown and Audre Lorde. If you have not read or listened to The Uses of the Erotic by Audre Lorde, highly recommend. And so I hope to lead this evening, or facilitate rather, from my perspective of a pleasure-centered a pleasure-centered path. And you are welcome to follow me on it. Uh, take whatever resonates with you and leave the rest. That being said, I felt extremely called out last week, if anybody was here, um, by Lama Rod talking about just being present enough to not perform and plan too much ahead. And my double Virgo self said, oh, I was already writing my little talk out in my head and I was going to type it up and have it already. And so I felt like that was an invitation, psychic invitation to challenge myself and be really present with y'all and whatever we create together. I am a sucker for collaboration and collaborative spaces. So I'm just leaning into that pleasure, that juiciness. And speaking of pleasure, thank you, Eric, for vibing with my musical jams. There's something really interesting and vulnerable about sharing what music that you listen to on your own. I think that's interesting, that vulnerability. And this is a vulnerable space. And me being here now feels extremely vulnerable and delightful. So thank you. So this evening, I will share some of who I am and my essence with you. I will guide us through a small practice, a pleasure-centered practice. Please invite whomever you want to that practice table, whatever deities that resonate with you. I am new to deity practice, so as I said, I'm going to be speaking from my perspective, and that language is still new to me. So I just give you that invitation when that arises and that comes up, as well as to remember to take care of yourself, body, mind, and soul in this space. And then we will be doing some mantra work and then prayer requests. Reminder that prayer request link is in the chat. And then as we do, we will close with a prayer. So to start, I would like to just breathe into this space with y'all and say hello to the little cute butterflies on my tummy and go from there. Yes. Okay. So in my work, something that I talk a lot about and that has come up a couple of practices ago is the concept of shame. And I want to share a little bit about what that means and looks like for me in practice and in spaces like this, and what it means for me to be in this position right now, full of expansion instead of the constricted nature that shame takes. So in my work, I show that shame is one of the most effective tools of oppression that there is within system. And once the folks I'm working with realize that that shame isn't theirs and it is a tool outside of themselves, there's a release that happens. There's a permission that has been granted internally to begin to actually experience what there is, to actually inhabit and step into authenticity. I came into a mindfulness practice when I was like 18 years old, a very scared and hurting person. And a person who thought that they were wrong, just wrong for being. And that's what shame is the expression or experience of feeling that you are wrong inherently. And as I sat with shame and held shame's hand when I could, I really felt into oh, just the smallness that shame inhabits. And what I mean by that is I picture a child self, a child me that is just embodying fear and misunderstanding. And as I learn more and more about shame, I see the way that it bleeds into every facet of life, um, creates a lot of messages about how things should be. It's wrapped up in perfectionism. It's wrapped up in all of the tenets or pillars of white supremacy. And it often guides or forces, I should say, guides is like a nice, tender word, forces decisions. And so when I stepped into pleasure practice and combined that with my mindfulness practice, I felt that play and pleasure uh, eradicated shame and created expansion. Like just literally, I don't know, like language is insufficient right now. It's just this is all I can feel into. It's just breathing. Yeah. I would love to guide a moment or invite you to a moment in a way that I experience or meet pleasure and gratitude. Gratitude is a huge concept. I want to call gratitude a being. I don't know, a huge being that I work with. And I use gratitude and pleasure often interchangeably as words because to me, being in gratitude is so pleasurable. It's so delicious. And so if it feels good and right to you to take a breath and settle into your seat or your lying down position, whatever position that is accessible and comfy to you. And if you would inhale, maybe on a 4 count, hold it for 4 and let go for 4 and begin to feel in your sit bones whatever connections you have with the ground. Start to feel into your space with your body, with your awareness. Notice all points of contact that you have with the ground, which is with the earth. You want to allow your awareness to notice the temperature of the air on your skin. Maybe notice any sounds that are around you. You would like to breathe in and smell the air. Feel where your tongue is setting against your teeth at the roof of your mouth. If this is happening, unclench your jaw. Maybe you would like to invite a deity or ancestor or presence to this experience with you. Invite them to a table that we are now sitting around together. At this table, there is a warmth encircling it. There's a warmth encircling us. We can feel it at our heart center. If you want to place a palm on your heart center to feel it, you may. And it is pulsing between all of us at the table. And in this warmth that you feel under your hands, within your heart, I invite you to ask whatever shame that answers the call to make itself known and I want you to say hello to it and acknowledge its presence. There's no good or bad judgment happening here. There just is the existence of this phenomena, shame. I want you to imagine as this shame is making itself known and as you are introducing yourself to it, and you invite it to crawl out of your heart space, crawl out and to sit next to you at the table. Whatever shape this shame takes, maybe it's something you've felt today, maybe it's something that has rooted itself deep and is only reawakening in this moment. Maybe it is extremely familiar. And maybe you haven't seen it for a while. You're getting reacquainted. As shame is now sitting next to you. And it is sharing in the warmth that we are sharing together around this table. This shame that is sitting next to you is neither good nor bad, is neither good or evil. There's no binary of being. It just is. And what it is doing now is vibrating. It's vibrating within the warmth. It's vibrating visibly. You can feel it shaking the seat beneath you. And it begins to melt away. Say, shame, thank you for the lessons. It is time for you to go. And now I want you to feel back into that warmth in your heart space and reach for gratitude. Gratitude in whatever form it takes. Maybe it's a flower blooming from your chest. Maybe it's a piece of chocolate cake you can taste in your mouth. Maybe it's a forehead kiss from a lover or a child or a puppy. I invite you to really feel with your senses what gratitude feels like in your body. Let it touch the backs of your ribs. Let it stretch. Open your lungs as you breathe it in, as you breathe in deeply. Because that's what gratitude does. It expands. I invite you to name either out loud or inside of you what shape this gratitude is taking and what for right now. I am grateful. I am full of gratitude for the small parts of me who have been through a lot of pain and who got to watch me and feel nurtured by the person I am today. I am so grateful for that little girl who still lives inside of me. And I can feel her hand in my hand. And as we are leaning into the senses and then the embodiment of gratitude, as we are feeling the warmth that we are sharing between us around this table, we can now have an innate inner knowledge that this gratitude is always accessible. This forehead kiss, this chocolate cake, this blue butterfly of gratitude is always available to sit with and feel into. I invite you to feel back into your surroundings if you feel like you have left them. To acknowledge, maybe give a psychic hug to your imagery and your senses of gratitude. Not to put them down or say goodbye, but to shift attention to your body. Away from this table we stand. We take one last breath in for 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 4. And come back to this plane, however it feels best for you. Wiggling some toes, wiping your eyes. Mm. Mm. Wow, thank you so much for sharing that with me. Feeling, woo, a lot. Unplanned. Love it. Oh, okay. That took some time. I'm coming back into this space. We are moving along. Thank you so much for that. Okay. Hmm. I do want to remind folks about the chat. I'm like, I'm still coming back. With the Google Docs and what am I trying to say? The prayer requests. Wow. Hmm. Still available. Ah, okay. Hmm. Yes. All right. Gonna move into some mantra work and take whatever energy that we have just co-created here and bring it into our mantra practice. Mantras are, I've been doing mindfulness practice for a very long time, but very much solo. And this is the first community-based practice that I've experienced. Not going back. I mean, I'll do solo stuff too, but um, mantras are also very new, and I have found them to be deeply pleasurable. The little vibration that I feel in my throat and my face and my chest, and knowing that that is happening on your side too. I feel that, and the words, while you can certainly meditate on them, for me become less of a meaning in my brain, meaning the words themselves become more than words. They are expression, they are being, they are the prayer, right? And it is no longer something that I am thinking about or trying to interpret. That is certainly somewhere you can start, but I definitely invite um, the letting go of meaning and the invitation to expand on the sense of what it is. I love when Lama Rod says, stop trying to understand everything. That's too up here, right? And we're trying to parse it all out. That's all up here. And we got a lot of trouble happening right now and always because we stay up here. So, we're going to do our introductory mantra, which will be in the chat. Okay. I will start with an Om and then begin and end with an Om. Om. Om and la sange ki nu. So Om and la sange ki nu. So Om and la sange ki nu. So Om. We've invited Medicine Buddha into this space, maybe with our gratitude and with this invitation, this introductory mantra. I'm having so much respect and appreciation for past leaders right now because I don't know how y'all keep talking when you're in the moment. I'm like, hmm. Similarly to the mantras vibration, I have always appreciated Lama Rod's drumming for our main mantra. And while I do not have a drum, and if you do not have a drum, I invite you to, and you also get a lot out of the beat, the beat that feels like Earth's heartbeat to me. And I invite you to beat on whatever is accessible and beatable. So your chest, pillow. And with this mantra, we saying like this, I pray for the end of pain and suffering and the root of pain and suffering. And I release the energy of this prayer out to all the worlds so that we all may be liberated. Teata hum bekanse bekanse maha bekanse rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekanse bekanse maha bekanse rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekanse bekanse maha bekanse Martha Samagate Soha. Teata umbekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata umbekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense raha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense rasa bekense sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Teata hum bekense bekense maha bekense rasa sumagate soha. Mm. Do prayers, prayer requests. Mm. Oh, it feels so tender for me to say prayers out loud. Thank you so much for sharing them with me. Prayers for the protection of Humboldt neighborhood, that the land and all the beings residing there may continue their existence free from a recently proposed extractive development. Prayers for the liberation of Palestine. Prayers for the brokenhearted ones. Prayers for my ongoing cancer treatment. Prayers for my brother Michael and my friend Richard. May they find healing and freedom. Prayers for the medical providers in Gaza, that they feel protected and resourced as they encounter the horror and devastation inflicted on civilians, and particularly on the many children. Prayers for Richard, that he opens to the help needed for his mental health, that he receives it before he injures his brain, relationships, or finances any further. Prayers for Ivan, that may he soften his heart, his mind, his nervous system, and so that his well-being increases, and so he stops inflicting his aggression upon me. Prayers for my broken heart and all the hearts cracked open, feeling, loving. Prayers for Gila as she heals ancestral trauma while creating art for Palestinian liberation. Prayers for my friend Carol, whose aged cat Twiggy has been missing for several weeks. Prayers for both of them. May they both be held and feel loved no matter where they are, what circumstances they find themselves. Prayers for the people in Israel and Palestine who have been working together for peace for many, many years, never giving up on the path of nonviolence and the dreams of freedom for everyone. They formed the organization Combatants for Peace with support from people around the globe. Prayers for my own healing on all levels. Prayers for the survival of democracy around the world. Prayers for myself during this time of confusion and shame after Mother's Day, having a mother not fully present in my life, holding my love heart tenderly. Prayer for myself and for all those who are exhausted and experiencing seasonal allergies. May we find ease and beauty, peace and gratitude in these experiences we did not choose. May we find the wisdom available here. Healing for my friend Dan and his wife Lisa as they navigate cancer. I wonder what it means to feel the pleasure in heartbreak. That's what is coming up for me reading these prayers. What does it feel like to feel pleasure as your heart breaks open and open, as it should, over and over again, to remain open? I'm going to repeat our mantra a few more times again, close our prayers and lift them up. Te ata bacon se maha bacon se rasa sumogate soha. Te ata bacon se maha bacon se rasa sumogate soha. Te ata umbekense bekense mahabekense asasumugate soha. Te ata umbekense bekense mahabekense asasumugate soha. Te ata umbekense bekense mahabekense asasumugate soha. Te ata umbekense bekense mahabekense rasasumugate soha. Te ata umbekense bekense mahabekense rasasumugate soha. Te ata umbekense bekense mahabekense asasumugate soha. Te ata umbekense bekense mahabekense asasumugate soha. Te ata umbekense bekense mahabekense asasumugate soha. I apologize. I missed some of the prayers in the chat, but we will lift them up as we. Yes, Hunter, it is. The link is in the chat. We can lift them up as we pray Shanti Davis's prayer. That is also in the chat. Thank you, Karen. And we will say this 3 times. Okay. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed, just like space and the great elements such as earth. May I always support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all the sick beings in the world until everyone is healed, just like space and the great elements such as earth. May I always support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, in a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed, just like space and the great elements such as earth. May I always support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. Wow. Mm, thank you so much for being here with me, for sharing in my vulnerability, sharing your vulnerability, sharing your pleasure and your gratitude and your shame. in your presence. Thank you for collaborating with me and co-creating with me in this space. I hope that your cup is filled. Um, yeah, and go forth with gratitude and pleasure, and think of me the next time you play, which should be very soon.